о его силе. Это тактико-технические характеристики Льюиса и Вивера. Рост Льюиса тогда писали 195, впоследствии стали писать 196, у Вивера 185 рост. Вес у Вивера был где-то килограммов 95. Это вспоминают последние бои Льюиса и Вивера. Льюис дрался последний бой. Перед этим он провел с Гэри. Как-то странно, да, видеть Льюиса таким. Ну, как мы видим, экс-чемпиону мира приходится нелегко. С Майклом Доусом второй состоялся 20 мая 1983 года. После этого Вивер выступал, скажем так, с переменным успехом. Иногда проигрывал, но он всегда дрался с элитными боксерами, самыми сильными. И проигрывал тем, кто несколько лет пришлось бы побеждать всех подряд, чтобы вернуться на ту ступень, на которой он уже стоял. Сейчас в разрез ударил Льюис. Потому что Вивер явно пытается поймать его на удар. Слева сбоку и справа апперкот пробил. Первые 3 раунда — это, я так думаю, независимый арбитр. Ну, понятно, что все 3 раунда он отдал Льюису. Дрался за то, чтобы, так сказать, поставить свою карьеру снова на рельсы. И чем больше он добивался, тем больше его критиковали. Стал абсолютным чемпионом, критиковали, побил Тайсона, критиковали, покинул ринг. Как видим, Вивер устал очень. И, в общем-то, не продолжает атаку, хотя явно может это сделать. Зал начинает гудеть. Видимо, этот человек у всех одно впечатление оставил о себе. Все, кто когда-либо общался с Джоном Дэвенпортом, говорили, что великолепный тренер, но крайне тяжелый человек. Не только Фрэнк Малоуни. И Льюис слегка, по-моему, разозлился. 2 джеба. Вот сейчас попытался пробить справа, но попал по защите. Кажется, Вивера только и хватило на этот вот кратковременный рывок. Вот так. Пару джебов провел Вивер, но ему это обошлось в нокаут. Ударом справа, одним ударом справа Льюис поставил точку в этом бою. Давайте посмотрим еще раз. Вот эти пару джебов провел. Еще. И точный прямой справа пробил Льюис. Да, ну это, конечно, нокаут. Сразу было видно. Вот так. Карьера Майка Вивера на этом не закончилась.
in the red corner. His record reads 27 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 20 wins by KO. From Toronto, Canada, the #1 ranked by the WBC, Donovan Ruddock. And in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks from East London, England, his record wins 21 contests, 21 wins, 18 by KO, the British, Commonwealth and European heavyweight champion, ranked by the WBC #2, Lennox Lewis.
As an English-born fighter held the heavyweight crown. Is Lennox Lewis about to take a step toward wiping out that century of frustration? Or is Razor Ruddock indeed the uncrowned champion of the sport? We are about to find out. Ruddock wants to wrestle. Remember that the two fighters know each other exceedingly well, even though it has been years since they've been in the ring together.
I get the feeling that Ruddock is a bit overexcited, George.
Yeah, he's trying to be an aggressor, and he's not an aggressor. And at the same time, he wants to fulfill Floyd Patterson's dream to be a good boxer. This could be one of the most confused fighters tonight.
Which punch will dominate the bout? Will it be Lewis's jab, which you've seen there, or will it be Ruddock's smashing left hook? Lewis sticking the jab. Ruddock shows the left hook but doesn't bring it. Among Ruddock's many technical shortcomings in recent fights is the tendency to telegraph all of his punches.
Good left jab. If Lewis can continue to establish his dominant jab, it makes us an easy fight. If he backs away, he's going to just fall victim to a wild left hook.
And Ruddock, who claimed that he would box, began with the jab, but in the last 30 seconds has been flailing with the left hook as always. That doesn't mean it's ineffective. He has so much power behind him. Right hand by Lewis. Ruddock goes down. A smashing right cross with perfect accuracy behind the jab. You cannot do it better. And the wobbling Razor Ruddock makes it out of round 1. First round.
We'll go back to look at that punch. A straight overhand right. Ruddock had been waving that left hand menacingly, but keeping it low. Lewis sized him up. He had thrown 2 wild rights earlier in the round, but now he has really put... This is how it looked in real speed once again from above. Perfect right hand. Ruddock down.
You can't do it better. George, how will that change the fight?
Not at all, because Ruddock, he's been knocked down in the early rounds before. Doesn't change anything, but he's better respect more than the left jab of Lennox Lewis. He's got a right hand to worry about too.
Lewis hurting Ruddock with the left hook. Ruddock in serious trouble as Lewis pounds into the canvas. Second knockdown of the fight. And already Lennox Lewis has equaled Mike Tyson's knockout output against Razor Ruddock in both of the 2 Tyson-Ruddock fights. Lennox Lewis is in total command now. Can he finish? Right hand to the body. Ruddock in trouble. Second knockdown of round 2.
That's all. It's over. We have a great new heavyweight on the boxing scene. Lennox Lewis may turn out to be not only the greatest heavyweight in British history, but the greatest fighter in European history.
I agree.
I don't trust the reputation of a man who made it based on losing 2 fights. Here's the first knockdown in the second round, which is the second round down of the fight. Very coolly, very efficiently, going after after Ruddock after the first round knockdown. Ruddock was hurt, came out in the second round trying to look like he could still fight, plainly had nothing left. And here is the end of the fight. Ruddock manfully trying to land something to get Lewis off him, but he can't.
Oh, look at that right hand.
No doubt about it, a clean knockout.
Referee Joe Cortez didn't even bother to finish the count.
Here in London, it's 1 o'clock, and would you believe the Sunday punch, 1 o'clock in the morning, Sunday in London, belonged to Lennox Lewis, not Razor Ruddock.
And dawn may be breaking at the end of a dark century for British heavyweights. Lennox Lewis of London is headed uptown.
Well, he just became the most Britisher in the British Isles.
That's right. He's no Canadian here anymore. You wonder how that man knocked out Riddick Bowe to win an Olympic gold medal? That's how he did it. Now, normally at this point, you would see Larry Merchant going into the ring to interview the two fighters. But the British Board of Boxing Control mandates that both fighters must be examined by doctors in the ring prior to any interview. So Larry will wait here at ringside with us. And Lewis comes to our side of the ring to wave to the crowd and say, I'm ready.
Lennox, you don't seem as stunned by the outcome of this fight as the rest of this crowd. Why?
No, because I visualized before the fight what exactly I was going to do. I realized that Razor is a person that gets agitated really fast, and even though I'm quiet, you can still hear my silence.
What does that mean exactly? You're looking across the ring, he was jumping up and down, he came out like 110 miles an hour. Did you feel that he was overexcited, that he was going to leave himself open?
I looked into his eyes and just looked at his, at his physical self, and I realized that, he was he looked scared to me, and I was just calm. I knew what I was going to do, and I knew what I wanted to do, so I just went out there and asserted myself and did it.
What did you want to do? What had you seen about Razor Ruddock that resulted in the result we got?
Well, I realized by watching tapes of him that he keeps his left hand really low. Razor's never been in with a guy that throws a natural right hand that is as fast as me, and that was a surprise for Razor Ruddock.
Is that why you threw those two wild rights in the first round, because you were anxious to get that in?
I was very anxious. One of my biggest problems is that I get too over-anxious, and I want to prove myself too fast. But with the help of my team around with Courtney Sham, my conditioner, Harold Knight, Pepe Curris, Ali, and my sparring partners, Tubbs and Weaver, they helped me to overcome that.
What are your thoughts about Holyfield versus Bowe and your opportunity to fight the winner?
I believe that, Holyfield, I give him the edge because he's a boxer and he's a workaholic. But before I said I was knocking at the door, I kicked down the door tonight. I'm coming after Holyfield.
Thank you very much, Lennox Lewis. Jim?
I'm going to hit you upside your head so hard you won't even know if you're Canadian, Jamaica, Los Angeles or what. I'm going to knock you upside your head, boy. Oh, so hard.
Please try it.
I'm going to hit you upside your head. You wouldn't know if you was Canadian.
Next question.
Yeah, thank you very much. You
Not for the pantomime.
You're enjoying
real.
Yourself, yeah?
Not for the pantomime. This is
my
real.
My pantomime fans were out there, man. I've got to keep them
Where's
sweet.
your skirt today?
I've got my skirt is at home, mate. I'm in suspenders as well.
Good.
Don't try that with me because I've been in pantomime. You're just embarrassing yourself, so I would just pass it on, man, because I'll just ad-lib you out.
You're
of here.
a living embarrassment.
I'll ad-lib you out of here, boy.
You're a living embarrassment.
I am a thespian, so don't mess with that.
Well, at least I'm not a sellout as well.
Jester, I've been in the business 25 minutes and I know the business.
You've got the reputation of being something of a mimic. Have you got a British accent off to a T yet? Can you do that?
Not yet, but I'm gonna work on it. Next time I speak with you, I'm gonna have one down.
Lennox Lewis impersonation, do you do?
Yeah, I can do one for Lennox.
Go on then. Have you got a message for him? He's probably watching
Yes,
this.
that's exactly what he's gonna be doing when we fight.
Chance of Bruno. There's the tail of the tape. Bruno, the older man by nearly 4 years, 3 3/4 years, 31 to 28. The taller man is Lewis, but the reach advantage by an inch is for Frank Bruno. The weight, interesting. Bruno, the second heaviest ever at 17 stone. He was heavier against Kurtzer, and Lennox Lewis, 16 stone 5. That's 6 pounds lighter than for Tony Tucker. He's probably trained for speed and mobility. Big plus points always for him. What about the rules for the fight? No standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is not in operation. That is, if there are 3 knockdowns in a round, it doesn't constitute an automatic stoppage, as in some other rules. The bell can only save a fighter in the last round, and only the referee, that's Mickey Van, can stop the fight. Remember how Lennox Lewis overwhelmed Razor Ruddock in a couple of rounds. He's looked a bit of a puncher in his last 2 fights. Bruno, for the moment, just biding his time. It's a big moment in this fight when Bruno lands with one of his big bombs for the first time. How did you score that one, Ben?
Well, I thought that was it was a very close round. They were both just trying to get it started. They were parrying for Romans, and it was predominantly the use of the jab there. But Frank come off well with it. A very even round. And I think just because Frank had the middle of the ring and maybe threw a few more jabs that landed, he could have stole that round.
Well, he's certainly trained, I know, for extra mobility and flexibility. 2 more jabs. Chance of Bruno. Ring around Cardiff Arms Park. He catches Lewis again. Optimistic signs for Bruno. And the 2 of them there clubbing away, and Mickey Van trying to get in between those 2 big men. 34 stoner heavyweight in there. And now Mickey Van wants to have a chat with them. Mickey Van looking to impose his control on the 2 of them.
He's got to do that. These are 2 very big guys, and if it starts to get a little bit naughty, if they start to foul each other, it's going to become a mess.
This is an excellent performance so far from Bruno. Can he keep this up? Lewis starting the round very fast, looking to impose himself. Bruno coming in with that crashing punch, and Lewis looked bothered by it, but he didn't go down, and he's still there. Now let's see if we can see this punch again, this key moment.
Well, he's using his authority here. He's very strong. He's taking it forward. There's the double jab in the right hand. And Lewis did shake a little bit. He just seemed to get on the tail end of it. But then we see Frank's strength. And this is what we were looking for. Frank to pull him around, use that strength.
Now that was always going to be a crucial moment, how Lewis reacted when Bruno landed with one of his big shots, and he was shaken, but you might say not stirred. Neither fighter really is slipping too many of those jabs either. They're both landing with a lot of regularity. Lewis is starting each round fast, but then rather switching off in the middle phases of the round. The way we're scoring this so far, just to give you a little guide, Glenn McCrory and I, is identical. 2 rounds to Bruno, 1 to Lewis, with 1 even. And our stats man, Bob Mee, who watches a lot of boxing, kind of agrees with that too. Lewis, who in the build-up accused Bruno of being a dirty fighter. But when people start complaining to the referee, it's sometimes a sign that they're not entirely comfortable with things.
I think one thing I've never seen with Frank, I've never seen him this determined. He's very, very determined. Anything that Lennox does, he's coming back with something. He let Lennox, it's very close, and Lennox is in the fight. And he let Lennox start using that jab a bit, and Lennox threw some good shots. But Frank came back, as we see here, this overhand right, a club and punch. And I think it's unsettling Lewis a little bit. But that was a good combination there from Lennox. That was probably his best shots of the fight. Good double jab with the right hand behind it.
Bruno will certainly want to have got rid of the stamina problems he had early in his career in this one.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting test because the fight's been fought at a terrific pace, and it's bound to take it out of both men at the end of this fight. They're both going to be tired as the rounds go on. And then it's when the defenses get slack and the big shots can come in from either man, because they've both got terrific power.
There's a little bit of blood around Lewis's face, and I think it might be just seeping from a cut somewhere near his eye. We'll try to get a closer look at that. Nothing serious at the moment, but they're beginning to develop damage. I'm scoring the fight even, so is Glenn McCrory. This is the 7th round. They both have a little bit of facial damage. So far, we've got Lewis landing 84 punches and Bruno 83. We have an expert counting the punches as they're landed.
But one thing's for sure, this certainly is a great heavyweight title fight.
Look at Bruno here, coming up with their left hook, catches him, and Bruno was hurt by that. And now Lewis is looking to close in to finish this, and Bruno is in trouble. Bruno is in big trouble. And Lewis carries on a relentless assault here, pouring on the punishment. These are bad moments for Frank Bruno. Right uppercut, and I think Mickey Van's going to stop it. Or is he? He's called off the assault. Well, that was a contentious incident in the fight. I thought for a moment there he was stopping that right uppercut. Lewis here, and Bruno is on the verge of going. He won't take a lot more, and this time it is stopped, and Lennox Lewis is still the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. But Frank Bruno put up such a brave, courageous performance. He was right in the fight until that moment when Lewis turned on the class and finished the job in clinical fashion. Now here we are, let's have a look at it. Bruno.
That's where Frank's got the success, and there it is, right on the chin.
That was the one. Look at his legs doing a silly dance as it landed, Bruno.
Oh, he never recovered from them shots. And Lennox, a beautiful finisher who pours it all on. He got the job done. I thought the referee had stopped it the first time. I'm not sure why he didn't wave it over there and what Lewis had done wrong.
I think really why he caught him off is because Lewis was pushing his left glove into Bruno's face, and that's why he made him abandon the assault, but it didn't actually matter in the end. Lewis here, look, he's just picking the punch. Oh, that right uppercut. That really was the telling final blow, the right uppercut. Rolled his head back like a rag doll, Bruno, and there was no way back from there. No way at all. You may be watching the last moments in the career of one of Britain's most popular fighters.
But you've got to give all respect to him. He put up a marvelous performance. He was so focused. He really went for it. And if this is his swan song, then he did a great job, and it's a great fight to go out on. He showed nothing but courage. But Lennox Lewis, in the end of the day, a fabulous performance.
The way he finished the job was quite brilliant, Lewis. But take your hat off too to Frank Bruno, because every time he has challenged for the world title, he has put up such a brave, courageous effort against Witherspoon and against Tyson. But you have to say, in the end, Lewis is extra, well, maybe it was punch power, told. That's the 3rd time in a row he's landed with a big punch and finished off his opponents. Remember, against Tucker, he had him down twice. Vital moments in the fight. Mayhem in the ring, as always. Lewis has got dark glasses on. Bruno's got his wife Laura in the ring. WBC tightly held. He finds Frank Bruno ahead of him in the queue to challenge champion Oliver McCall. And of course, Mike Tyson, without even having a fight, has come straight out of jail to be #1 contender. And can you call that justice? Not really. But when did that ever have anything to do with it? Now, look at the tail of the tape here. It will tell you a real story about the size difference here. Look at that. Same age, but there the similarities end. Lewis, 6'5", Fortune 5'9", and the weight difference over 2 stone. Lewis will tower over this man. And you can see, just looking at them, what a massive advantage he has in terms of sheer physical presence. Lennox Lewis, the former world heavyweight champion, Britain's only world heavyweight champion this century.
Yes, he looked very keyed up coming in the ring, and if he is, I wouldn't expect this to last very long.
A big change in the corner. There he is, Emmanuel Stewart, the man responsible for Tommy the Hitman Hearns and Frank Maloney. Always looks a bag of nerves during the fight. Of course, Lewis is a huge investment for him, right apart from anything else. Second round here, Lewis in the white trunks. Fortune has obviously come in here with plenty of ambition, but he's got everything to gain and not much to lose.
That's right, and that's always a good way to be.
Well, there's Justin Fortune in the corner there. Leading the team is Freddie Roach, who's been with the likes of Virgil Hill, world light heavyweight champion Marlon Starling, who beat Lloyd Hannigan, experienced character. And they've got a cut to deal with in there.
Yes, there's a bit of facial damage, but I think we can see some of the good work from Lewis. There's that long right hand, just measured him with the jab and got the right hand on. And he's starting to connect with good punches all the time now. His reflexes are very good.
But give credit to Fortune. He's putting up a really spirited performance here against some pretty insurmountable odds in terms of sheer size.
Yes, he's like a little terrier in there trying to get to Lewis.
This is the typical Aussie spirit, isn't it? They're not the kind to just lie down. Manny Stewart, the new trainer, has been really very, very heavy in his praise of Lewis. He says that not even a Tyson or a Bowe would live with the new Lennox Lewis for 8 or 10 rounds. So far, Fortune, though, has managed into the 4th. Lewis here, maybe he's been told by the corner to go out and get the job done now. Oh, right uppercut was a great shot. Fortune took it well and came back with a terrific left hook of his own.
He certainly did. He said he hadn't come here to lie down, and he's proved that already. He's took some tremendous shots from Lewis.
Showed amazing durability there because Lewis really hit him with a peach of a right uppercut. Now, this Australian is a bit tougher than the pre-fight script suggested.
But them jabs are landing very, very solidly. You wonder how much more he can take.
They headlined this bill Doomsday in Dublin. It really would be a doomsday for Lewis if he was to lose at this kind of level. And there's another cut, I think, opened up around the eyes of Fortune as he's caught with another right hand. Lewis is wearing him down, you feel, bit by bit, stage by stage, breaking the spirit and resistance, and there's a lot of it. Fortune is caught here and in terrible trouble, and it stopped. Oh, it stopped. Even before he hit the floor, Roy Francis had decided that that was enough. In round 4, a series of punches, a cluster, classy uppercuts, and Lennox Lewis, I think, looked for business there.
He certainly did. He looked very fast. That was a tremendous finish. 3 right uppercuts, all rocked the head of Fortune back. I think the referee did the right thing calling it off there. They were very hurtful punches.
Just talk us through it. These uppercuts were tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. I seen every time he got hurt, I would just throw the uppercut, and he was really open for the uppercut. So I was trying to launch into some uppercuts. But like I said, he was pretty tough. I was just about going to come out on the left hook, and the referee said stop. He was trying to win a lot of punches in there, but I figured I'd just step aside and throw the uppercut. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I said to the ref, he did a good job. I didn't want to get him too hurt in there.
Yeah, they booed the stoppage, but that's fair. I mean, you got to stop a guy like that from getting hurt bad.
Definitely. You know, a guy that has a big heart, they always get hurt, so I didn't want to hurt him too bad.
Now, I have to ask Frank Maloney, what is the situation with regards to this man getting a shot at a world title?
We will do all possible now to lodge his claim with the WBC. We've also been informed that he's the #1 in the WBO, so that makes him the mandatory for Ruddock Bow as well. So now we have 2 angles to pursue. But the WBC is the most important angle.
Foreman, I believe, has given up the IBF. Is that another option?
No, that's been made by, I believe, the German and the South African.
So give me a timescale. How long before we see Lennox Lewis fighting for a world title?
Well, we will definitely see Lennox Lewis in the ring by the end of September, October, and we're hoping that's going to be for the world title.
Well, that's something we all look forward to. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
These fighters are not so much at a crossroads as at an intersection without any stoplights, and everybody is looking for a big collision.
Yesterday, when we met with them, Lennox Lewis made a big point of telling us that he has learned since the McCall fight how to ease his way into a bout, not looking for the big punch from the outset. Tommy Morrison has made a big point of saying, I don't think I can outbox Lennox Lewis. I don't even think it's worth trying. But he did outbox George Foreman a couple of years ago, and there are some of us who still expect to see some of those in and out tactics.
I think Morrison made a very good statement, because with Lennox using this jab like he is, it's going to be very difficult for Morrison to outbox him. The weight that Lennox has added looks good. He is not too big. He's gained weight in all the right places. It must be mostly in his legs, because I cannot tell from his upper body. His upper body looks... Morrison seems to be forgetting that same thing right now, though. He should be working Lewis's body as well. He's the shorter fighter here. For him to have an advantage, he should throw more body shots that can bring Lewis's hands down.
Morrison almost sneaked the left hook past Lewis's right hand.
In between the first and second round in the corner, Tommy was breathing, long stride, and that's a good body shot.
Good body shot by Morrison, but he goes down, so score it a knockdown for Lewis.
I thought it was a left hook. The fighters had their backs to us, so we couldn't tell. But if it was a very short left hook.
Fascinating exchange, because Morrison seemed to be doing damage to the body, and all of a sudden he was on the canvas.
It was a counter left hook.
A left hook that we thought was delivered inside. If it is, it's one of the most impressive punches we've ever seen Lewis land, although it just landed high on the head. But he wasn't even throwing those kinds of punches on most occasions before.
Well, there he's inside. He can block the jab, go in, but he can't throw 2 and 3 punch combinations, because Lennox is doing something smart. He's punching between Morrison's punches, which is what I told you would be a... If I were Morrison, I would be content with that right there, getting one body shot at a time, hoping to tire Lennox in the later round.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored so far?
Jim, 4 rounds to nothing, 40-35, Lennox Lewis. I gave Lennox all 4 rounds. Certainly he deserves an extra point in round 2 for the knockdown. Lennox has shown me a great left jab. Real good defense. Tommy's not getting through, and I think forgets he's killing Morrison with all that Vaseline. It's going in his eye. He can't see the punches coming.
And right now, Lewis is landing combinations at will. When Morrison comes forward, Lennox simply jabs and then drops the right hand over. He's been very effective in the first minute of this round.
Two things I see. One thing is that Morrison knows that the 5th round is not a good round for him. He's letting this mental thing get to him. The second thing is that Lennox is not hitting Morrison's body. If he touches body, he will knock him out.
Morrison is trying to fight Lewis the way he fought George Foreman, staying outside his range and then trying to fight and get inside in his own terms. But Lewis is just much faster than George.
Out of Lennox's range, and he has the longest arms, then that means you're that much further out of your own range.
Morrison landed a left hook after Lewis's right hand around both eyes and appears to be losing his vision as time goes on.
Yes, but look at the facial expression. Morrison has almost an I give up facial expression. Lennox has an I'm about to take over now expression on his face. These things play a big role in a boxing ring, because when you see a guy with that I give look, it gives you more confidence, gives you energy sometimes that you don't even have to want to get him out.
Under a minute in round number 4. Or check it, round number 5, I should say. As has been the pattern throughout his career. 5th round by Lewis. All those punches were blocked by Lennox Lewis's arms. And there's a monumental uppercut. Morrison went to one knee. Lane calls it a knockdown, correctly so. Morrison knew it. He went immediately to the neutral corner, and that right eye's looking pretty bad.
This fight is basically over. Like I told you before, Morrison has that I give up look on him. Lennox knows it. Lennox is just going to keep coming. Lennox has done his homework on Morrison. He knows every combination that Morrison throws, and they're the same. So he cannot hit Lennox.
This one. I got the left one. All right. Give him a round, Doc. Give him a round.
Yeah, we're going to give him a round. We just want to see how bad it is.
He's thrown a lot of long right hands, Lewis, in this fight, as we've often seen him. But it's that short one that Tommy Morrison didn't see that put him down.
Like I said, Lennox has done his homework on Morrison. He's using some of Morrison's own combinations on him. That's Morrison's favorite combination that he dropped him with just then.
This round.
Yes,
he asked the doctor to give him one more round when the doctor wasn't even thinking of it at that point.
Yes, but he can sense the urgency on Morrison's face. Morrison has basically almost given up in this fight. He wants to go out and see can he land a big shot now.
Oh, that's a terrific right-hand shot by Lewis. That landed flush on Morrison's chin.
Very flush. But Morrison just wants a chance to try for one more knockout. Then I think he knows that he's basically outclassed by Lewis.
He'll make a statement here anytime.
In pleading his own case, you might have heard Morrison say to the doctor, I've still got my left hook. By way of saying, listen, don't stop this thing too fast. I'm dangerous. But the left hook has not been a factor so far. Down goes Morrison again, and this is becoming a blowout.
Morrison is too concerned about his eye. He's letting his eye take him out of the fight.
Third knockdown of the night for Lewis. And Lennox begins to showboat just a little bit. Now he comes back to the jab, popping it and bringing it back the way you're supposed to.
This was the round that Morrison stopped Ruddock after taking a terrible beating.
Lane's getting very close to a stoppage here. You get that sense. Down goes Morrison again, and I wonder if Mills has seen enough. There is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. That's the 4th knockdown of the fight, and that'll do it.
Lennox, like I said, has sensed the feeling of urgency on the face of Morrison, so he know all he had to do was hit him. This first one, that's a jab that really did the damage. That shows you how weak mentally and physically Morrison was.
It's another look at the first knockdown, and the jab bothered him there. You can see that Morrison was concerned about his eyes at this point, and once again you'll see the jab do the damage there, followed by the finishing right hand that put him on the canvas. Now here's knockdown number 2, Roy.
Knockdown number 2 is almost the same thing I did to Pat Zinza. He let Morrison punch till he had him tired. Morrison thought he could walk out of an exchange, but he couldn't. He wasn't out of the range of Lennox. Because Lennox got closer to him, he was used to backing up and being out of range. But see right there, he wasn't out of range.
And how effective was that left hook tonight? Aside from one damaging left hook against Bruno in Cardiff a couple of years ago, Lennox has never been known for that punch, but he landed a dozen good left hooks.